With the release of the all-new iPad M4 models, buying an iPad now is probably more confusing than it's ever been, especially with prices and features that seemingly overlap across different models. So grab yourself a seat as I'll be sharing my insights to help you navigate this maze of options. To begin, let's start by getting one thing out of the way. This is a guide for iPad models that were available pre-M4 or before the release of the M4 models. So which models are they? Well, we have 6 models in total. The iPad 9th Gen, 10th Gen, the iPad Mini 6, iPad Air 5, and the 11 and 12.9 inches iPad Pro models. And to make the comparison a breeze, we'll start by going over the specs, then we'll dive into the distinguishing features and use cases for each individual iPad. So if you're not a spec geek or you get bored midway, just skip all the way to the use cases. I'll also have the PDF guide available for download in the description box down below. Let's kick things off with the cameras. All iPad models come equipped with a front-facing camera featuring center stage technology, a feature that automatically frames you correctly during FaceTime. Additionally, all iPads have a rear camera, with the Pro models boasting a slightly higher resolution. I said it before and I'll say it again. I primarily use the iPad camera for document scanning, so the resolution isn't a major concern for me, but if you're that dude who uses an iPad for photography or videography, well, good luck. Also, a note on the camera: the iPad 10th Gen is the only iPad with a landscape front-facing camera, whereas the rest have the camera positioned at the top side, making video calls appear, well, sideways. And the Pro models feature a LiDAR scanner for scanning 3D environments, just so you know. When it comes to apps support, there is nothing to worry about, as all iPad apps are supported by all iPad models, with a few exceptions like DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, and some AAA titled games which work best, or in other cases are even exclusive to the Apple Silicon iPads, meaning iPads with an M1 or M2 chip. As for software support, you can expect Apple to offer support for at least 5 to 7 years after the device's official release date. So if you get any of these today, they'll easily run you till 2030, provided there is no world-ending event or some sort of an apocalypse. Anyways, apart from the Apple Silicon-powered iPads, the rest will be getting iPadOS 18 minus Apple Intelligence, which, to be honest, is no big deal, as I went over in this video. Moving on to the displays, the iPad 9th Gen features a 10.2 inches Retina display with a home button and large bezels on the top and bottom. The iPad 10th Gen features a 10.9 inches edge-to-edge liquid Retina display that is not fully laminated, which I'll clarify in a bit. It also features 60Hz refresh rates with support for sRGB colors and no anti-reflective coating. The iPad Mini 6 features a slightly better 8.3 inches fully laminated 500 nits liquid Retina display with anti-reflective coating, and instead of sRGB colors, it offers support for P3 colors with a wider color gamut and a slightly better color accuracy. And being fully laminated simply means that there is no air gap in the display, because the display, the touch layer, and the cover glass are fused together, making the image look like it's on top of the glass and not inside the glass like the previous models. And this can be seen when using the Apple Pencil. It appears to draw on the surface of the glass, whereas on the iPad 10th Gen it appears to draw inside the glass. The iPad Air 5 features a 10.9 inches display with the exact same specs as the iPad mini 6. Finally, the Pro models feature an 11 and 12.9 inches mini LED display which looks incredible, featuring 600 nits brightness for SDR content, 1000 nits for HDR, and 1600 nits peak brightness. Overall, the Pro models feature a better looking display with Pro Motion, deep blacks, and a higher resolution with colors that pop. For some, the color of their device is the most important factor for the purchasing decision. So let's explore the color choices offered for different models, starting off with the iPad 10th Gen, which comes in 4 colors: silver, pink, blue, and yellow. For the iPad mini 6, we are given the choice to pick from 4 colors as well. We have the space gray, starlight, pink, and blue. The iPad Air 5, like the MacBook Air, offers the most color choices, coming in 5 colors, the first 4 being the same as the iPad mini 6, and the 5th new color being purple. Finally, both the iPad 9th Gen and the Pro models are a bit more serious and come in 2 colors, a space gray and silver. By the way, if you're feeling generous and would like to support the channel further, feel free to buy me a cup of coffee with the link in the description box down below. For the processors, the iPad 9th Gen comes with an older A13 Bionic chip. The 10th Gen comes with the A14 Bionic. The iPad mini 6 features the A15 Bionic, the same chip on the iPhone 14 series. The iPad Air 5, on the other hand, comes with the M1 chip, which is insane, and the performance does not disappoint, as I went over in this video. And the Pro models come with an M2 chip, the same chip as the MacBooks, only shrunk down to mobile size. For ease of use and accessibility purposes, we have the biometric authentications. The iPad 9th Gen has a Touch ID on the home button. The 10th Gen, iPad mini 6, and the Air 5 all have a Touch ID on the power button. And the Pro models feature a true depth front-facing camera with Face ID, just like the iPhones. By the way, I have a wallpaper pack coming soon, so stay tight for that as well. When it comes to the speakers, the iPad 9th Gen features one-sided speakers with 2 microphones. The 10th Gen, Mini 6, and the Air 5 feature landscape stereo speakers with 2 microphones as well. And the Pro models feature 4 fuller speakers that respond to the iPad's orientation and 5 studio quality microphones. For the storage capacity, the 9th Gen, 10th Gen, and the iPad mini 6 all have 4 gigs of RAM and a storage option of either 64 gigs or 256 gigs, costing an upward of $150 to upgrade. The Air 5 comes with the same storage configuration but a slightly larger 8 gigs of RAM. The Pro models start at 128 gigs and they can be upgraded to 256 and 512 gigs with 8 gigs of RAM. You also have the option for 16 gigs of RAM with the 1 or 2 terabyte storage options. When it comes to the ports, the iPad 9th Gen is the only iPad in this list featuring a 3.5mm headphone jack and a Lightning port. The rest of the iPad models feature USB Type-C, with the 10th Gen having a transfer speeds of up to 480 MBs per second, the Mini 6 up to 5 gigs per second, the Air 5 up to 10 gigs per second, and the Pro models feature USB 4.0 with transfer speeds of up to 40 gigs per second. For the accessories, the iPad 9th Gen and 10th Gen support the first generation Apple Pencil, but the 10th Gen can also support the 79 Type-C version of the first gen Pencil, which attaches magnetically but only charges via USB Type-C. The rest of the models support the more advanced 129 2nd Gen Apple Pencil, which both attaches and charges magnetically. For the keyboards, the iPad 10th Gen features a 2-piece folio keyboard with the functional keys. The iPad mini 6 does not feature any official Apple keyboard, and the iPad Air 5 and the Pro models feature a floating design keyboard with backlit keys and a USB Type-C port for pass-through charging. Also a note, both the iPad Air 5 and the Pro models feature full external monitor support up to a 6K monitor. The rest of the models just support screen mirroring with no full external monitor support like a desktop. Also, all iPad models support Sidecar, a feature that enables you to use the iPad as an extra screen with your Mac. Finally, let's talk about the most exciting part, one that most people consider before making the final purchasing decision, and that is the price. Starting off with the iPad 9th Gen, which is no longer available on the Apple Store, but on third-party stores it starts at $200 for the Wi-Fi version and around $250 for the cellular version. But you can get it for under $200 with the link in the description box down below. The 10th Gen starts at $349 for the Wi-Fi version and $499 for the cellular version. The iPad mini 6 starts at $499, the Air 5 starts at $599, the 11-inch iPad Pro starts at $799, and the 12.9 inches starts at $1099. If you opt to buy a keyboard, upgrade the storage, and buy an Apple Pencil, you are well off buying a MacBook Air instead. For the use cases, or what I think is best for different kinds of users, I think the iPad 9th Gen is generally great for content consumption, mainly for children and people who want the iPad experience without blowing the bank. Or if you just need an iPad in the kitchen for cooking tutorials, I personally don't think it's worth spending more. The iPad 10th Gen comes with all the updates like split screen, slide over window. It supports all games except a few demanding ones. It also comes with multitasking features like universal control but not stage manager. So I generally think it's perfect for everyday use like surfing the web, streaming videos, playing games, and the fact that you can equip it with a folio keyboard makes it an even excellent choice for students and anyone looking for an affordable iPad with a modern design. You can opt for the 64 GB model, provided that you don't store most of your media files like images and videos on the device. Just keep in mind that the iPad OS and system data takes up around 18 GB, so you're left with around 40 GB for personal use. For the iPad mini 6, I'm not really sure we can categorize this to any specific users, as it generally fits anyone who needs a smaller iPad, making it ideal for users who want a more portable iPad without compromising on performance. It's great for gaming, especially for those with smaller hands. It's also great for reading ebooks, multimedia consumption, and on-the-go productivity. I consider the iPad Air 5 to be the sweet spot, as it's more like the MacBook Air, meaning it takes all the Pro and Pro features and combines them together, making it the perfect device for students, creative professionals, and power users who need a device that can handle demanding tasks like photo and video editing. Yes, video editing, as this very video you're watching was fully edited on the iPad Air 5. It's great for graphic design. It also offers pro-level multitasking features like Stage Manager. The fact that it comes with a pro-level chip and pro accessories gives it an almost laptop-like experience. So if you need the best device for productivity but can't afford the Pro models, the Air is the way to go. The iPad Pro lineup offers the ultimate iPad experience, making it perfect for professionals, artists, and anyone who needs a high-performance tablet for demanding tasks, or if you just have the funds to afford one. If you're considering using your iPad as a laptop replacement, it's worth noting that upgrading the storage and additional accessories like a keyboard, the Apple Pencil, a mouse can easily run you the price of a decent laptop or even more. So I think most people are better off buying a MacBook Air instead, as the iPad's prices rise exponentially with the accessories. Another option is to opt for pre-owned or refurbished iPads on Apple's official website. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. So, what's your take on the old iPad lineup? Honestly, I used to find it a bit chaotic and overwhelming, but now I see the beauty in its variety. There is truly an iPad for everyone, whether you're a casual user or a professional looking for top-tier performance. There is always an iPad for you. Next week, I'll be dropping the latest iPad buying guide featuring all the details on the new M4 models, so stay tuned for that. If you'd like to support the channel further, feel free to buy me a cup of coffee, and for exclusive discounts on the iPads we've covered today and more insights, check the links in the description box down below. I hope this guide has made your iPad buying decision a little easier. So go ahead, explore your options, and happy shopping. Stay tight.
Stay tight.